And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Luther Arnold. Okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic.
That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
first.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile. Smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time,
with
when,
you.
it, when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try
you
this
gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny
All right,
and start laughing.
do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well out there and enjoying your day, enjoying your Wednesday. It is hump day. You know what I'm saying? It is hump day, y'all. Lots of reasons to get excited about the day. As we already know, the weekend is fastly coming up, and I'm very excited about the weekend because there's a lot of opportunities to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And an opportunity to be around some friends, family, etc., and enjoy our day. We got some things to talk about. We got a serious conversation that we need to have, which is one of our main topics of the day. But before we jump into all that, I wanted to say a good morning to everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Hit that like button. Send those likes all the way up. We got quite the deep dive that we're going to be jumping into here fairly shortly. But I wanted you guys to just send some positive energy into the show so that we can keep giving you guys some positive energy on this side of the lens, okay? Before I get things started, my brother David's in the house. What up, Mang?
Hey, man, everything's good. Say hi to everyone in chat there. Yeah, I think the Charlamagne discussion will be interesting. I mean, we're going to get into it soon, but obviously everyone in chat's getting excited about that one. So I think we'll have a great conversation coming on that. Maybe some people can call in and talk to us.
Yes, man. I'm gonna be straight funky with y'all. This one's gonna be a really tough one. You know what I mean? This is and I really wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about it last night, but I couldn't do a show last night, unfortunately. And there will be a show tonight, but it will be a members only show. I'm trying to stay strict on those on that schedule for my members and everything. So you definitely don't want to miss tonight's show because I am going to be doing a very, very deep dive into some stuff tonight as well that you don't want to miss. So if you haven't done it yet, I'm going to put this on solo real quick. If you haven't done it yet, I need you guys to go and hit that join button down below. $4.99 helps you be a part of the morning, part of the membership only show that I have on Wednesday nights. A lot of times we have Skype calls, video chats, etc. Tonight's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a combination of both. But at the same time, we're going to be doing a deep dive into some serious stuff. You don't want to miss it. You definitely want to be a part of that show. You definitely want to be a part of the conversation. Okay? So please hit that join button down below. Like I said, it's less than $5, y'all. It's less than Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Disney. Come on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I keep giving you your stories of the day. Help fuel the show. You know what I'm saying? Give the show a little sustenance. You know what I'm saying? Let the show feel it all the way down in its plums. Okay? That would really mean a lot. So crush that join button. And for those of y'all who are just joining the show for the first time ever, good morning. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Crush that subscribe button, okay? We got to get into some serious ish, y'all. By the way, if you guys are going to be doing anything this weekend, I hope you guys are doing it fun, having a great time. I know a lot of people are starting their weekends off tomorrow. Okay, so I know a lot of y'all might not be on tomorrow with me, with us. So I wanted to say, hey, enjoy your weekend. If you're traveling starting tomorrow, please be safe, drink responsibly, don't do anything I wouldn't do, which isn't much. But at the same time, be safe out there, okay? And enjoy your time with your friends, your family. Practice social distancing if you haven't gotten the poke yet, okay? Be smart out there, okay? So, again, there will be a members-only show tonight, and this is a big show. So you do not want to miss that at all. And you know, what are you guys doing for your Memorial Day weekend? What are you planning on doing? I see Tammy from the block is going to be doing a movie marathon weekend, which is dope. I'm sure it's going to be all Star Wars or Harry Potter. Which one? You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of movies that could take up a whole weekend. Trust and believe. So comment down below and let us know what you're going to be doing. We got to jump into this conversation, which we will be doing here very shortly. I'm glad David's on with me, but let's jump into the stories of the day. Okay, our main conversation right now, the thing that's been popping off right now is Charlamagne the God. Now, if you don't know who Charlamagne the God is one of the many voices, one of the co-hosts on Breakfast Club in the morning. He is probably the loudest voice in that show, right? Arguably. He's arguably the loudest voice in the show, all right? You got Charlamagne the God, you have DJ Envy, and you have Angela Yee. And it's a very popular show, all right? So recently they were talking about, like this was last week, and I'm doing a little bit of a recap because I know a lot of people are tuning in and a lot of people are going, I don't know what's really going on. So I'm here to give you a little bit of a recap, and there's some receipts, audio receipts that we need to listen to here as well. So break it all the way down. There's their show, Breakfast Club in the morning. They do their thing. In this particular show, they're talking about a podcast called All the Smoke that's hosted by retired NBA players Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Both of them on this podcast are throwing shade on Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown is a former NBA player as well. They basically say, you know, like they aren't saying anything great, okay? Kwame Brown responds to this feeling some type of way about this, okay? He was not very happy hearing them not put respect on his name, okay? So, Breakfast Club caught wind of this drama, and Charlamagne had something to say. There's an audio piece so that you understand the origins of where this all started. It all started with Charlamagne. Can you mute your thing? With Charlamagne saying this.
Let me tell y'all something. Leave Kwame Brown alone. I don't know if y'all know, but you could do a little research. Kwame Brown was born in Charleston, South Carolina. I don't think I've ever met Kwame, but I know a lot of his family. His family lived in Moss Corner, South Carolina. His father's name was Willie Brown. I don't know how many kids Willie Brown had. I don't know how many siblings Kwame Brown got, but I went to school with his sister, and I went to school with one of his brothers. Let me tell y'all something. Kwame's father in the 90s, I remember this story. He beat a woman with an axe handle. It was his girlfriend. And the rumor was he buried her alive. He buried her in the area that I grew up in, if I remember correctly. I've been trying to call my dad since yesterday to confirm the whole story because I literally forgot about this until yesterday. But the woman died and he got arrested. If he's still alive, he's in prison for life because he got caught because he left South Carolina after the murder and came back for his paycheck. Let me tell you something else. His other brother, I don't know if him and Kwame were close, but his other brother shot his baby mama several times and then killed himself. That was like in 2008. And his other brother, Kwame's other brother, just went to jail for murder like 3 years ago. All of this you can Google. I'm saying all that to say, leave Kwame alone. That man has been quiet for 20 years. He don't bother nobody. Clearly all that, you know, all that he's a bust stuff gets to him, and you don't know what people are going through or have been through, but I've seen folks snap for less, and it looks like, you know, Kwame is snapping. And if you look at the history of men in his family, you would know his men in his family have a history of snapping.
So, there's the first initial start This is the part. This is the start of where the snowball effect starts happening, right? Now, first off, I haven't gotten a chance to really talk about this, right? We talked about it in passing with the whole cease and desist thing, which I'm going to tell you guys here in a very short minute. But at the same time, you got somebody who is sitting here, and instead of actually saying, hey, actually having that person's back, he's doing these insults. Like, he's having his back, but not at the same time. Like, I don't know how that is trying to be respectful to a guy by saying, oh, his family has a history of violence and a history of mental issues. To me, and I feel like all of us would sit here and say, Charlamagne shouldn't have said what he said. Not the best thing to say right then and there. Okay? So, while he's sitting there saying this, you know, and of course, some people are sitting there going, well, no, he was trying to defend Kwame. He was trying to defend him. And it just came off wrong, right? Him coming out with all that information was wrong, right? So after that, Kwame went to his live videos, his live platform, and he basically said, well, ain't you like you better be careful on what you say. You better be careful on what you say, because straight up, weren't you didn't you take a lesser charge for a sexual assault on a minor, etc.? Now, this is true. He ultimately, Charlamagne the God, ultimately pled guilty to contributing to delinquency of a minor by making alcohol available at a party where the incident allegedly occurred. This sexual assault, this assault that went down. Okay? Now, there is audio of Charlamagne the God admitting to what he had done. Now, I'm going to play the audio. Mind you, if this straight up trigger warning, okay? This is a podcast coming from the Brilliant Idiots. This is a clip of Charlamagne the God actually admitting to doing said thing, to doing said act, okay? So I want that to be abundantly clear and full on. Trigger warning for any person that has ever been a victim or a survivor of assault. I want to make that abundantly clear. The reason why I'm playing this audio is because I want everybody to know exactly what's going on right now. Because a lot of people are going, well, this is all hearsay. Well, not so much when it comes from the horse's mouth. Take a listen.
I got this girl real drunk, and
let me repeat that one more time.
That sentence sounds South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I got this girl real drunk, and
that sentence sounds a little fishy. I got her drunk.
I didn't just get her drunk. I remember going. I went to the sex store and got Spanish Fly.
Oh, so you raped her?
Shut up. Spanish Fly. They sell it in the sex store. I'm telling the truth. They sell it in the Spanish store. I had the fucking.
They sell knives at the store too. You could put that to a girl's throat and have sex with it. That doesn't mean it's illegal.
So I put the Spanish Fly in the E&J. We drinking the E&J and shit. So in my mind, I don't know if this shit really worked, but I felt like I got horny as a motherfucker too. Right? So she was drunk as shit, and we had sex and shit, and like a lot of my boys was trying to come in the room and fuck her. I'm like, nah, chill out, I can't. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna let you run a train on it. That's rape. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna play the rest, but you heard that, right? I'm gonna roll back a tiny bit, real quick. I'm gonna roll it back just a tiny bit.
A lot of my boys was trying to come in the room and fuck her. I'm like, nah, chill out, I can't. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna let you run a train on it. That's rape.
So he was in there. He did his thing. He did his thug thizzle. And then suddenly, his boys wanted to come in and do the thing. There's more. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, right. So
it's just one-on-one. It ain't right.
Yeah. So the next
trains are right.
So the next morning she wakes up. And we talk about it. And she's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "We had sex." She said, "Okay, well, I'm glad it was you." Then a couple days later, She's like, yo, are you sure I only had sex with you? Because one of my stupid ass cousins was going around saying he fucked her, which he didn't. I know for a fact he didn't. I was there the whole time. Yeah. He did not fuck her. Yeah. He looked at her naked, but he didn't fuck her, right? So I'm telling her, no, me and you just had sex. Nobody else did nothing. So it just was weird that she was like, well, I'm just glad it was you. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I'm like, yo, you could have been in a real bad situation if it was another motherfucker there. That's a huge compliment, man. A girl just said, yo, at least you raped me. I didn't rape her. I did not rape her. Hey, if it was any of your cousins or friends who have been raped, but I didn't rape her because me and her had every intention of having sex with each other. So then why would you put the Spanish fly? I'm still a freaky motherfucker, but was she passed out while you fucked her? Nah, she wasn't like, she was like one of those drunks where, she was one of those drunks where like, she was like, she wasn't coherent, but she was up. You know when your girls is like when you're blacked out, like that, don't know what the fuck's going on type shit. Like she was up.
Hear that? So, long story short, that is an admission of guilt. And last time I checked, that is an admission of guilt. Audio on a podcast where he's talking about having relations with a woman who's under the influence of something that he slipped in her drink called Spanish fly. So real quick, David, you might want to change your settings in your audio because I don't think it's picking up everything right now.
Right.
Yeah, I think your microphone isn't getting picked up.
All right.
Yeah, I'm picking up the computer. That's what's going on. It's just hella loud. So now I want to make sure that we heard all that stuff. Okay, so Kwame went out, called him out, etc. Said all those things, right? Said all those things, which he admit on audio. Okay. Now the funny thing is that of course, only thing that Kwame did is bring something up that was true. Because he's going, well, if you're going to throw me under the bus, my brother, didn't you do this thing that, you know, in the past? You took a lesser charge for some stuff. 3 years probation. I mean, you know, literally. Intercourse with a minor.
So this was the 15-year-old girl that they've mentioned before, or is this a different?
This is the
person?
This is the 15-year-old girl that they've mentioned before. Now, the funny thing is that there's like two different stories. You know what I mean? There's two different incidents that have happened. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. All right. So it's bad. All right. Now, true, Metro customer just said Charlamagne the God had already cleared that up. Yes, he did talk about it. He's talked about it. He stepped in front of it, even on his channel, on his show, and all that stuff. I mean, obviously, he talks about it on this damn podcast, admitting that these are the things that happened, right? That he was a part of something and all that stuff, and he's learned his lesson and he's a better person for it, and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? I've changed, and you know that whole situation is a situation that was a complete misunderstanding, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, there is nothing wrong if Charlamagne the God is gonna pull out the skeletons of Kwame Brown's family's the skeletons out of his family's closet. What's wrong with him going, well, F you, if you're gonna speak bad on my name, what about you, bruh? You're telling me you're perfect? So he called him out. Kwame Brown called Charlamagne the God out because he was angry as hell, and rightfully so. You're talking ill on his father. You're talking ill on his brother. You know what I mean? There's information that he said that's not entirely true. That even Kwame was like, I don't even know, bruh. You telling me he died how? I don't even know how my brother died. You're telling me how he died. You're saying this on live, where millions of people are listening to your show every single morning. They listen to you and they believe everything you say because you're supposed to be a reliable source. But now you're talking ill on my family's name and saying stuff that's not entirely true. What the hell? So that's why he said, well, isn't that the thing? Didn't you do the thing with the thing? And you pled to a lesser charge. Girl was, taken advantage of, allegedly by a bunch of dudes. You were a part of that, and you took a lesser charge. So that's exactly what he did. Next thing you know, as soon as he did that, Charlamagne the God sent Kwame Brown a cease and desist order. All right, instantly, and this is Kwame responding to said information.
And maybe since I'm such a bust that I might have snapped, then what the fuck did you do to be around a 15-year-old, you punk bitch?
Colorful language.
What the fuck is you talking about, nigga?
Colorful language.
You think that shit was gonna work with me, you bitch ass nigga? I ain't gonna cease and desist shit. Thank you for telling me what you got charged with, bitch. Cause you played with a lesser charge. Nigga, you gonna make me find that girl and interview her, nigga. You probably got gag orders on her. Because like I said, it's a go along to get along game. And y'all people better come together and sling that bitch out of that goddamn radio station. Because they're going to protect that little bitch. I haven't talked to this lawyer in years. And all of a sudden they get a hold of this lawyer that'll email me a cease and desist order. Fuck your goddamn cease and desist order, nigga. Now I just read out what you did, bitch. You a nasty motherfucker. Now, nigga, bring the games if you want to, nigga. You mentioned my name with my father and my...
Okay, so, see that? He's like, you mentioned my name and my father and my brother. You're throwing my entire family, my family's name under the bus. Now, of course, as soon, like literally over the weekend, and I know I talked about it briefly on Monday, okay? But over the weekend, this is what happened over the weekend. Brown received the cease and desist from a lawyer he doesn't even, his ex-lawyer, by the way, all right? And that's not a bad idea, lady 747. It's pretty damn funny. So after you received the cease and desist, he did this video. And he was basically going in. He's on there for like a good hour or so saying all kinds of stuff, saying like, yo, y'all, everybody needs to cancel Charlamagne the God. So the very next day, following Monday, is what I talked about on the morning show. Okay? Instantly, Charlamagne the God is calling himself, Donkey of the Day. He has dubbed himself Donkey of the Day and says, man, I am so sorry for calling out Kwame Brown like that. I should know better. I shouldn't be speaking ill on this man, etc., etc., etc. But the funny thing is that Kwame Brown didn't take it he still didn't take that apology. He was not cool with this. He's like, nah, I am not cool with this whole thing. You said some bad things, and I'm not cool with that. Now, this has gone on still to this day, where we have Kwame Brown live right now as we speak. If last I checked before we started the show, he was on live. And he's cooking something up over there. He's got people coming in, doing his thing, checking all this stuff out, and listening to what he has to say about all this. Now he wants everyone to cancel the Breakfast Club. This is how deep it's going now. So, with all the information that we have so far, even with Charlamagne the God saying he's sorry and all that stuff, the question still remains. Should Charlamagne the God be canceled for what he has done? This is the question that is going to sit for a while, I'm sure, because there's a lot of people that respect or like Charlamagne the God. I have had a change of heart, personally, over the past couple days, over the past weekend, actually. I was a big fan of Charlamagne. I thought, man, you know, this is a guy coming up, doing his thing. He's creating a voice for the culture, so on and so forth. He's on TV. He's doing some stuff. I'm like, yeah, man, he's writing books. You see what I'm saying? I read his books, you know? I'm going, bruh, this guy is killing it. Like, he's the model of a business model that I would love to have. I would love to create that kind of career. But one thing that sucks about his job is that he's the loudest person in the room. And then the one thing that's really great about him, or what made him so popular, is that he's the loudest person in the room. Don't you see the double-edged sword here? So this is what sucks about it. Because his job is to talk ish. His job is to stir the pot and run amok and talk ish on people and kind of start drama. He is a male version of Wendy Williams. That's the best way I can say it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to call him beta. I ain't trying to call him nothing like that. I ain't trying to do anything like that, okay? I mean, shoot, Kwame Brown has been calling him Becky with the good hair. Real talk. It's crazy, okay? Because Kwame's mad. But he literally is the male version of Wendy Williams. He doesn't know when to not speak. That's what I've noticed. But that's how he also built his career. So, the question that I throw out to everyone, and I'm going to be throwing to David as well, and I'm going to open up the phone lines because I want to hear from you guys. I know it's an early speak on it today, but we got to talk about this. Should Charlamagne the God be canceled? By the way, thank you guys so much for riding through that journey with me so you guys know the full origin and where we are today. Do me a favor. I see over 126 people in the house right now. Please crush that like button. Send all those likes all the way up. Let's get this conversation going. The phone lines are open, 314-766-4581. Let's get to talking, y'all. Speak on it. David, what are your thoughts on this?
All right, so yeah, I mostly agree with you here. This is this is even worse than I initially realized. Like, I understand why Kwame was mad very easily. I kind of mentioned this yesterday, but I felt like Charlamagne was just kind of doing this fake nice thing. You see this a lot in some people. Some women do it to each other a lot, you know, where they act like they're saying nice things, but they're really just tearing each other down. That's what I saw him doing with this kind of message to Kwame, especially since he went out of his way to Google this information to find it and for no reason chose to share it with everyone. And of course, I don't blame Kwame for refusing to accept that because I don't think it was a legitimate apology, and I don't think Kwame thinks that either.
No.
Especially I can't blame Kwame after he finds out that Charlamagne did that to a 15-year-old girl, because that seems to be where a lot of his disgust comes from, and I think I understand that completely.
We got a call. We got a phone call. Let's take this and hold your thought. I know you're about to drop some more knowledge bombs. Hold up. Let's get this phone call. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Dave from Joshua Tree.
Dave, Joshua, what's up, man? Been a minute.
It has been a minute.
What's on your mind, man? Speak on it.
Just wanted to say that, I feel that, well, yeah, he should lose some good publicity from this. I also feel like the straight cancel culture in this day and age, where anyone with an iPhone can just turn around and host a podcast, it only does so much to cancel people. Now, that being said, us as a society, we need to say, no, we don't want to support people who will openly brag about something this vile. Whether it's canceled, whether it's just he loses a bunch of ratings in the next year and has to go somewhere else. Yeah, something he should have some public discourse on this, but I still think the whole cancel thing only does so much in this day and age because, yeah, he just turns around, grabs his iPhone, and starts podcasting.
True.
And, yeah, maybe that's not the right way to look at it, but unfortunately, that's the way I look at it today in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we live in a very weird time, right? And what bothers me more than anything in the world right now, my brother, is that he went on to a podcast. Like my change of heart happened when I heard the conversation, when I heard the podcast. Right when I heard that podcast and that little clip.
That is a stupid thing to talk about and to brag about or to even joke about on a podcast. It really is.
It literally broke my heart because I'm sitting there going like, why are you speaking lightly on this conversation? I get that you need to be upfront and honest, and I know that he is, like I said, he is, what's the word? He's got alligator mouth. You know what I mean? He doesn't know when to close it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of morning show DJs have that same problem.
Yeah. And I get it. They get paid to shock and awe, to, shake the tree and make people, like, oh my God, gasp and shock jock type of stuff. You know what I mean? What is he going to say next?
Like you said earlier, he does get paid to be the loudest person in that damn room.
Exactly. And that's why he makes all the monies. And that's why he has the books and the accolades and the TV shows and the him getting interviewed on shows and all that stuff. He's the commentator on this, the commentator on that. I mean, yeah, this is exactly what he gets paid to do, but it is absolute trash on how he has been handling his past. It's not good. And people have been talking about this for a minute. People have been talking about his tarnished, his tarnished past and questioning how much of this is real and how much of it is, how much of it is fake, etc. You know what I mean? But my brother, thank you so much for calling in.
Real or fake, I always thought the guy was kind of an opinionated homophobe. But that's just my opinion.
That could very well be it too. You know what I mean? But my brother, thank you so much for calling in all the way from Joshua Tree. I appreciate it, my brother.
Have a good day.
You too. Peace. Got another call. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is A Lady.
Hey, lady. What's up, sweetheart? How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for taking my call.
No problem.
I hate this cancel culture term. We wouldn't need cancel culture if people would go to jail and be held accountable for the things that they do. By saying cancel culture, it's kind of putting a politically correct term on something, and you know how politically correctness is so demonized these days. It's that whole kind of Trumpism thing where anything that used to be bad is made fun of, and people are getting paid for it. I mean, cancel culture, it's the people taking justice into their own hands, if you ask me. And so, yeah, the reason why he feels the ability or the freedom to go and brag about what he did is because he wasn't held accountable for it.
Yes, and he should be held accountable for all the things that he has done. And I think that's the issue right here, where it almost seems as if he could do anything he wants. He can get away with this stuff. But then he could speak ill on other people's pasts. And it's kind of like, well, wait, first you need to come to terms with what you've done before you start talking ish on somebody else's life. You see what I'm saying? Especially when you're exposing that person, right? When you expose that person and put that person's name and full on background, their family history, which 9 times out of 10 is embarrassing, especially when you have like a history of mental illness, murder, possible, alleged murder, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you don't want out there. You just see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, telling people don't mess with him because he might snap. It's like, wait, so you're telling me just because my DNA, my lineage has had a few, some moments of violence that suddenly I'm crazy? You're telling me that I'm crazy now? That's messed up.
And that's straight evil. That is gaslighting at its worst.
Facts.
Like he's trying to pretend like, oh, I really care about you, community, so don't say anything bad about this person. Well, all the while trying to demonize Kwame. And his name is Kwame. It's not Kwame. It's Kwame.
Oh, I said.
So,
I've been saying Kwame.
You'll be on his ish list if he catches you calling him Kwame. So
Kwame. Okay,
right.
Kwame. Thank you.
I love you, Sam. I love you, Pascal, and David. You too. Okay, you guys.
We love you. All right. Bye. And she definitely has a point there. You know what I mean? I think, when it comes to Kwame Brown, it's unfair that he's getting, that he was thrown under the bus like that. And I think that it's like, don't say anything if you're not ready to get that same type of treatment thrown back. But real quick, I want to do some super chats real quick. Miss Will I Am's $10 said, this is old news. Lovely T covered this last year, but sure, let somebody else bring it up now. Hopefully he'll get canceled now. And honestly, like, I didn't know really, and thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Miss Will I Am's. I honestly didn't know the full extent of this story until just recently. He talks about it in his Black Privilege book, but it's kind of like it's just like a quick chapter. He talks about it, and then he just moves on. You see what I'm saying? So, interesting, right? Beautiful Walking, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. They said, did I get this right? He dissed a rapist? Good karma, in my honest opinion, or in my opinion. Yeah, yeah. Definitely, okay. David, what are your thoughts on this? I'm going to throw it back to you again. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. People started calling in, so you unmute yourself.
All right.
There we go.
So this is still mostly about the girl, but so apparently, like you said, he used the Spanish fly, which is it's like an aphrodisiac. It's called cantharidin, and it is almost always used on unwitting subjects as a basically drug to do exactly what he did, and that's also often it's really dangerous. It turns out because a lot of people ended up dying from it, but they never point out that it caused their morbidity because they didn't recognize it at first. So he's not just drugging her, but like this drug does in fact like cause permanent abnormalities in your heart and your intestines and everything. So even though he's on top of just basically roofing her, he poisoned her. It is recognized as a poison, so he poisoned her. You could charge him for that for sure. Either way, I mean, just this whole conversation. Just yesterday I said I didn't think that one guy should be canceled for what he did as long as he hasn't been charged. But this is a different situation in my head because Kevin Spacey, I think, is probably a piece of crap. But Charlamagne is actively kind of promoting what he did. He's giving out this story of how he molested this girl. He even recognizes that it would be rape if someone else did it because that's the situation he put her in. And of course, there were allegations that they did run a train on her, and she does seem to think that happened. So on top of that, he was letting other people come in just to see her naked. So there's all kinds of crimes piled on top of crimes here that he admitted just in that single phone call. I'm actually surprised. Like you said to some just earlier to I think Will I Am or something like that. I didn't know about these things a lot until it came out of the beef with Kwame, because I just hadn't heard about it. I certainly probably would have stopped listening to him a long time ago if I had known about it. And yeah, so I think there's just the fact that he's so comfortable with it, and he almost seems to be encouraging it. Like, he's saying it's funny, he's saying it's okay, he's saying he had a good time and all of this. He's basically encouraging other people to roofie women, or roofie men even, and just take advantage of them as they desire. And that's why I think he should actually be canceled in this case, because I feel like he's promoting this behavior to people, and he's suggesting that not only is it okay, but you can use it as a way to get even more popular and famous, like he's kind of doing here. So this is actually one of those cases where I would not be unhappy to see him canceled, just because I feel like he's promoting his actions. And not only is he not remorseful, but he seems very happy about what he did, happy to the point that he's laughing when he shares it with other people, even though he's describing the very act of rape. So, yeah, I think in this case, I do kind of support the idea of him getting canceled.
Absolutely. We talked about it yesterday. I'm not going to go and go back on what I said yesterday. Straight up, real talk. When we talked about Kevin Spacey, for example, I'm not somebody who is a fan of cancel culture, but I do think it's necessary on certain situations. If you're going to do something bad to somebody, right, especially a minor, especially a child, right? You and I are going to have words. You and I are going to have problems. I'm going to look at you differently. I'm not cool with that kind of stuff. So damn right, this person, regardless if they have come out and said what they needed to say and all that stuff, but then there's audio out there of you just chuckling through this conversation with somebody else in passing, to me, I have a problem with that. To me, I'm like, you are just shedding light on something that is not supposed to be light. You are making it seem like talking about sexual assault should be like asking if somebody can pass you the ketchup. That's a problem. It should not be that simple. Now, I could see people going, hey, this is an opportunity for him to get in front of it, talk about those things, but then talk about it in a diplomatic and thought out, balanced way. But when you talk about it on a show, on a podcast like that, what the hell? You're talking like you just went, took a dump that, just a second ago, and you're talking about it in passing, and it's so lazy and lackadaisical. Like this girl, this Jessica girl, who is the victim, it's like that doesn't even matter anymore. You know what I'm saying? Her life and what happened to her don't mean nothing. Now I understand that Charlamagne Guys has found success. He's found an incredible amount of success, right? So much success that a lot of people would want to take him down. Of course. But at the same time, like, how you're approaching this whole situation is untasteful. I feel like if he approached this situation differently, this would be a different conversation. And I get that he's been out and honest about it, to a certain extent, of course. But it's also how you conduct yourself from that point on that shows whether you have learned and have rehabilitated yourself. We got a phone call. You're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Tricia1, and I'm calling from Maryland.
How you doing, sweetheart? Thank you so much for calling in. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
I'm not with the cancel culture, but I think if you commit a crime and then you laugh about it later because you got away with it, they should reinvestigate. I think that if you want to know a person's character, give them power, position, authority, or some money, and you'll see their true character. And from what I'm seeing, Charlamagne just needs to shut up, or he needs to go. He needs to try it again.
Facts.
Kwame has been quiet all of these years, and just started his life over, taking care of his family, and he was doxxed. He was publicly doxxed. If you're gonna apologize, say I'm sorry, I shouldn't have spoken that way, and put a period right there. But then Charlamagne added all these other names. And one of the names, his father's like street name, how people really recognize him. Kwame's son hadn't heard about that part of, of his family history. No one takes into consideration that when you run your mouth, you really could hurt a lot of people. And that's all I wanted to add.
You know what? I appreciate you saying what you said, and that's absolutely right. I think if he got in front of this way ahead of time, or actually just not said anything, let's start there. You know what I mean? But here it is. His job is to talk out of his ass. So he did. He talked out of his ass, right? He doxed Kwame and his family and all that. And that was messed up, right? So the last thing he could have done, or the first thing he could have done after doing said thing, is getting in front of it and saying, hey, man, I'm really sorry about that. But no, he sent a cease and desist to Kwame's old lawyer, trying to get him to shut up. Go ahead.
He should be sued. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Kwame should take legal action against Charlamagne the guy. And that will teach other vloggers and journalists to have some type of morals when they're making reports about people.
Right.
Talk about the fact in front of us. If he was a retired basketball player, talk about that. Don't include anybody's family. His father or brother or sister, they didn't play basketball. They're not famous. Why bring them up?
True. That's very, very true.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm going to get off here. But that bothers me.
Yes. I feel you on that.
Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We got one more phone call real quick. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Lachey. I'm calling from California.
Sam from California?
Lachey.
Lachey.
California.
How you doing?
Yes.
Thank you so much for calling in.
I'm doing pretty good. You're welcome.
Speak on it. What's on your mind?
I've always had an issue with Charlamagne. I think a lot of people are forgetting that Charlamagne, I'm going to say allegedly, even though he admitted it, that he allegedly raped his own wife.
Excuse me?
Wanted to marry her.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
Say that again one more time. He what?
He allegedly raped his own wife.
Holy crap.
He married her. Yes, I guess that they were at a party. They both got drunk, or she got more drunk than he did. And he took advantage of that. And then I guess he asked her, after they were done, if he raped her. And she said, well, I guess, guess that he did, once I'm thinking about it. But he even admitted to himself that, it was to everybody. Like, he was just completely out of it. And that I guess he tried to make an excuse and say, well, she was hitting me back,
Right.
He's into it, whatever. But you can't be out of your mind and not in control of your faculties, and then, be able to service somebody at the same time. So yes, Charlamagne has a history of taking advantage of women like that. And I think a lot of people forget that. Is that he admitted out of his own mouth that he took his own wife while she was sloppy drunk.
Wow.
So, there you go. He has a history. It isn't like it was just this young girl, and that was it. That was his own time. He's got a history of it, and then bragging about it. I mean, who's bragging about raping their own wife?
Have mercy.
So,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that piece.
Yeah,
that's news to me.
Yes. So just look it up out there. Just look it up, and you'll know. But I heard about this story years ago, about his wife, and then later on I heard about it. But yeah, he this is not the first time he's. I'm not going to say he roofied her, but he waited until she was out of it. And took advantage of it. And then made discouraging remarks about it. And that he got that pee and all that. And it's like, why would you talk like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
I just have always had a problem with him. He just never sat with me right. So when all this stuff started coming up to the surface, it was like, yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for that information. I didn't even know. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
insane.
So it's worth looking into. He has a story to pass, and he tries to cover it up and try to make excuses for his while trying to blame everybody else and put everybody else's feet to the fire about theirs. It's just bull crap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got a
I
history.
just want to let you know.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for the call. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, on what she was saying, I found something. The original source was a podcast he had like 3 years ago.
What the hell?
It basically says, I'm married to my wife. Me and my wife dated for a whole year. She would not give me no
Nookie.
P word.
No
Yeah,
nookie.
no nookie. Me and my wife hung out one Saturday night, and she got sloppy drunk and passed out in my mama's house, and I got that. She was effing me back and all that, but she was really drunk. I asked her yesterday, did I rape you the first time we ever had sex? And she goes, I mean, in hindsight, yeah.
What?
And so basically he acknowledges, too, that he did that. So
Oh my
they both
God.
acknowledge it.
Wow. Wow. That is wow. Wow. I didn't even know that was wow. That's news. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to
yeah.
laugh. It's not. This is not funny. It's just surprising. Real quick, got a super chat. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Miss Will I Am said, Pascal, I'm going to send you $10 because your face says it all. Yeah, it was a shocking revelation. Check out or reach out to Lovely T, man. She has the info. I would love to get in contact with Lovely T because she's out there killing it as far as all this goes. But we got a phone call. I'm going to get this one last phone call, and then we got to go into a commercial break, unfortunately. Real quick. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Black Lady Jane. Good morning.
Yes.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, California. How you doing, guys?
Good morning, sweetheart.
Good
How you
morning.
doing?
I'm doing great.
What's on
Now,
your
this
mind? Speak on
comment
it. All right.
This comment is out of left field,
Sure.
but I always had a suspicion that Mr. Charlamagne the God, I think he's an undercover on the other team, because listening to that conversation of him bragging about that girl, he was overcompensating. If you ever watched his show, he always he speaks about men's butts. He always bring that up with his guests. He always does that. He talks about having sex from the rear. He always talking about that. And when I heard that conversation that he was just blasé talking about how he roofied a girl and did his whatever, I get the feeling he's overcompensating, trying to prove how masculine of a man he is. And he thinks by doing these things to women show that he's all about the P as opposed to the D. That's my opinion. I thought I'd throw that out there.
I appreciate you throwing out that information. Thank you, Black Lady Jane.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
I don't know what to say on that. Because I one thing I know is that, yes, on the show, there's a lot of innuendos that are thrown back and forth between Charlamagne and DJ Envy, but they're just, they're just, you know what I mean? They're just throwing that banter back and forth where it's like borderline, you're like, man, you guys joke so much about this, about getting together like this. Are you guys really getting together? And that really is. Somebody really did ask that. And there was a discussion on the show about that. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I can't really speak on that part. All I know is the things that he has actually stepped out and actually admitted to, which is the things that we're talking about here. But that comment is not a far-fetched thing. People are still talking about it. You know what I mean? People are still talking about that aspect or that idea of Charlamagne, really batting for the other team, allegedly. But, that's all speculation, right? But anyway, we have got to go into a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we got a lot to talk about. So stick around. If you haven't done it yet, hit that like button. If you're enjoying the conversation and all that, send the likes all the way up. That would really, really mean a lot. If this is your first time checking out this show, please crush that subscribe button. All right. We do this show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I also do an evening show Tuesday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So please crush that subscribe button. Hit those likes. Send those likes all the way up. We got to go into a quick commercial break. We will be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. I mean, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're going to perform
I'm sorry,
tonight?
I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being part of the conversation. If this is your first time checking out this show, please go crush that subscribe button. I do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I do a Tuesday through Thursday show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, so be sure to crush that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button down below if you're enjoying the conversation, and definitely, if you got $4.99, please hit that join button and be a part of the conversation, be a part of the family membership. This helps fuel the show so that we can keep giving you your stories of the day. Now, of course, you know, we have been talking about this whole thing that's been going on. There's a lot that's going on, obviously, and a lot of people have opinions about this whole Charlamagne the God situation. You know, and like I said, my thoughts, my ideas about Charlamagne have changed quite a bit over the past couple days, because after hearing things, after thinking about things, after talking it out with people, especially just how he has gone and how he's conducted himself over the past few days, over the past week or so, I feel like he's conducted himself in a very poor way, in a very poor manner, y'all. And I feel like he could have gone a different route. And this whole thing is screwing him up because his big old mouth is getting him in serious trouble right now. He's seeing the side effects of actually talking out of turn. That's what I think. You know what I mean? But of course, you know, this conversation obviously can go on forever and ever. And of course, people have their opinions and their thoughts about all this. And it's like I said, I hope that it can come to a situation where maybe he's able to come through and talk about this, right? Come to terms with it and maybe be able to proceed without actually the possibility of getting canceled. But then there's another possibility of, no, it's like, we ain't got time for this. Your ass is getting canceled. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what's going to happen. You know, because here it is. Kwame Brown is trying his hardest. He's putting out the message out there to say, cancel the Breakfast Club. Cancel the entire show. Boycott it. People don't go and watch the show, right? Now you're talking about a very big problem. That is a large amount of bags that are now going to disappear. All because Charlamagne said what he said. This is what I mean by the side effect of talking out your ass. So we're going to see what happens with Charlamagne or with the Breakfast Club. It's bad. All of it's very, very bad. This whole situation's very, very bad. So we're just going to have to see what happens. And yeah, you know, Queen Christine just said he has the donkey of the year. Yeah, he got donkey of the decade right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad. Like I said, it's very, very sad. Everything that he built, everything that he's worked so hard to build is about to be destroyed. There's a possibility of it being completely just wiped out by his mouth, which is really sad. But we have got to go into the news, more stories and all that stuff that's going on. We do have our world news brief with David. What's going on, my brother?
All right. So we have a few things in the U.S. first off. So Biden is continuing to work on his infrastructure bill, and his initial proposal was for a $2.2 trillion bill. However, after speaking with the White House administration as well as the Democratic Party, their plan has dropped it down to a $1.7 million price tag. In the meantime, Republicans are still pushing for it to be dropped to $1 trillion, and they're still in discussions over that right now. In Portland, unfortunately, on the anniversary of George Floyd's death, police declared a riot after marchers ended up breaking windows and started setting fires along one of the main streets. They set dumpsters on fire, and they broke into jewelry stores, Starbucks, credit union, and a high-end steakhouse, a Ruth Chris Steakhouse. And unfortunately, that all happened on George Floyd's death anniversary. In California, they're starting to get some heat over the homeless camps that they built up, specifically the one-person homeless buildings, mostly because state legislatures are becoming worried about how the money is being spent, and it is not planned to provide permanent housing. Right now, it's costing the state roughly $2,663 per person per month, which is considerably higher than an individual renting a one-bedroom house in that location right now. In New Hampshire, we might talk about this a little more later if we have time, but in New Hampshire, they just released an arrest warrant for Marilyn Manson for 2 counts of misdemeanor assault. Allegedly, they have it on film. So he spit on a camera woman in mid-2019. First, he allegedly spit on her camera several times, and then eventually when she came up closer, he pretty much, as they called it, he fired a snot rocket directly at her and hitting the woman. Obviously, she was disgusted.
Nummy.
And... Huh?
I said nummy. No,
yeah, right? That's so gross.
Right?
But so he's facing the warrant is out for his arrest. He may have been arrested this morning, but as of last night, they hadn't got him yet. It's I would think he'll turn himself in today or tomorrow, but if he doesn't, the police are going to arrest him very soon. All right. So for the rest of the world, well, some of this starts here, but Nature magazine just released a study done by the Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis that people who get mildly sick from the big sickness have a permanent immunity that reduces chances of ever getting the sickness again. And currently, it seems like there are cells in the marrow of individuals that will produce a long time resistance against it. It's believed that this will continue to affect individuals for all of the variants that are coming out as well. Now with China, so Fauci is, we just talked yesterday or maybe the day before that Fauci is now acknowledging that China may have had something behind the leak of the sickness. And in response, Chinese state media is quite angry about it. And they're saying that Fauci needs to acknowledge that he is wrong. And meantime, one of their highest think tank members says that U.S. elites degenerate further in morality, and Fauci is one of them. He says that Fauci is feigning a huge lie against China and that he has betrayed Chinese scientists. However, his statements and his studies are working along with the World Health Organization and the CDC. So China is the main one denying this. The other forces, however, are not. Also, with regard to China, we just had John Cena, who is a major wrestler. He's on the process of promoting his new film, I think it's like the 9th Fast and the Furious movie.
Right. Let's pause on that one right here. Let's look at this situation, because this whole John Cena thing, obviously John Cena is in hot water with China and Taiwan. It's the weirdest thing, and I don't get what's going on. So break it down for me, man. What the hell is going on with John Cena, man, and China?
Yeah, I can get more into this one. So
yeah, let's dive into it, because I got the video too. So
all right, cool. So John Cena, he's previously, over I think the past decade or so, he's been working in China, kind of trying to set up the WWE there. When we talked to Roy Jones Jr., or when Pascal talked to him earlier, he was doing the same thing for boxing, because this is kind of what's happening there. U.S. sports are standing up in China.
True.
Not just real sports, but like entertainment sports like the WWE. So basically what he said is that Fast and the Furious, Taiwan would be the first country to show it. That's his statement. And that's what made China mad, because he recognized Taiwan as a country, which generally hasn't been recognized as a country since the 1950s, when the Communist Party took over the mainland of China, even though it was not part of the same country at the point. Since then, China has continuously claimed that Taiwan is one of their territories. However, most of the world disagrees with them, and this is exactly why the UK and the US both sent our super carriers down there to join the Japanese and Australian fleets, ostensibly protecting both Taiwan and the Philippines. So that's what they were angry about. It's a major thing in China right now, especially on the state-controlled Weibo social media and their state-controlled news, that Taiwan is basically a rebel state. And because of that, he ended up apologizing in Mandarin, which he learned while he was instructing them in WWE stuff. And he basically apologized for that. He has over 600,000 followers on that state-controlled social media. However, he got a lot of negative feedback even after his apology, because most of the people wanted him to specifically say that China controls Taiwan and it is not a country. However, he did not directly say that, so China is continuing to be mad at him over this issue.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let's take a look at this this apology video, which is very interesting.
你好，中国，这是叫西娜。我必须说，现在。在《速度与激情》中，我做很多采访，很多，所以在一个采访，我有一个错误，所有人问我，如果我可以用中文，《速度与激情》中人给我很多资讯 information， 所以很多采访，很多 information。我有一个错误，我必须说，现在就是很重要。我爱更尊重中国，更中国人。我很抱歉对我的错误，对不起，我很抱歉。你必须了解，我 很爱、很尊重中国跟中国人。不好意思，再见。
You know, I got to be real. That was pretty damn impressive. I'm sorry for an American dude that I didn't even know he knew Mandarin. I'll be real. I didn't even know he knew that stuff. So personally, I was impressed. I feel like that would have been. I understand a mistake happens. You know, like something like that happens. You just information flies out, and you're just doing your thing, and you say what you need to say, and that gets people very upset. A certain group of people very upset. You don't mean to upset anybody, but the fact that he went out of his way to speak in their language and say his apology says a lot. At least that's what I think. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a big gesture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's not an easy language to learn, but apparently he's learning it, which is amazing.
Yeah, he learned it as part of standing up to WWE there, and I do agree with you that it does seem like a more meaningful apology. However, the Chinese government and people do not seem to accept it, specifically because he did not state Taiwan is not a country, which is pretty much the only thing they seem to want him to say at this point. And
I'm sorry, it's like it's John Cena. Like this isn't Trump. This isn't Biden. This is an actor, athlete guy. You know, an ex wrestler guy. I mean. Come on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seriously? Okay.
I mean, he's not the only one.
I understand that there's a lot of tension between those, between China and Taiwan. I get it. There's tension. So like saying something like that might really piss off a group of people. But at the same time, I feel like that gesture was a big gesture, and saying it in their language, saying, "Hey, I'm so sorry," you know. I had the information wrong. I'm sorry. That shouldn't automatically just destroy everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's I'm sure. I mean, the thing is, right now, Hollywood is in a delicate place in China because, as far as I'm considered, China has been playing the Western media, specific entertainment media, not the news. I mean, but like Hollywood and even comic books and all of that. So what we're seeing is that Hollywood has largely adopted Chinese standards of censorship and filmmaking because China is one of the biggest markets now. So almost every film is being released there. For the most part, Disney has abandoned their idea of making profits of movies mostly in the U.S. and have been aiming at China for some time. However, the Chinese government pretty much once they invested all that. Once Hollywood invested all that money, they pretty much clapped back after that. They ended up saying Mulan was a terrible movie. No one there liked it. They wouldn't show it at most places. And now they're still releasing 2 new movies that are targeted at the Chinese audience. However, one of them is I think the Shang-Chi movie. But that one is most likely not going to be released in China because it does have Asian actors. However, a lot of them are Asian Americans. So they don't. The Chinese do not like Asians with round eyes. This is according to their own articles. And so they do not want that movie there either. And we kind of see this with other production companies that they've modified themselves to be released specifically in China, and they've changed their movies and edits to do that. However, China, now that they have everyone in Hollywood kind of devoted to them, is shutting down Hollywood, which is ultimately going to cause a massive loss of income for not just the country, but for the Hollywood industry in general. So I do think this is just a game that they're playing to shut them down. I mean, also, there's other issues with them, like we've had to modify movies, like reducing the role of black individuals in films and sometimes removing them completely from the posters because the Chinese do not generally like black people. They were largely disenfranchised by the government just a few months ago. So it is a situation there where pretty much everything's being invested towards China in the Western entertainment, but it's not really working out that way. And it's kind of ironic because Japanese entertainment, specifically TV shows and comic books, have been doing much better in the U.S. than U.S. produced entertainment lately. So we're exporting our entertainment to China, and they're now not accepting it anymore, while we're importing our entertainment largely from Japan at this point. It's just a weird situation we have.
It is very, very weird, and I feel like now everything is just getting, like I said, it's like everything's getting hypersensitive, hyper sensationalized. hyper politicized as well, to the point where it's like, man, this is, it's messed up. And then the fact that there are truths behind, like, things when it comes to, like what you said before, like they'll take black characters, black actors off of the main posters, because they don't like seeing that as well. It's like, it's really, really messed up, banning a movie from playing there because they don't like the Asian actors having round eyes. Like, it's just, to me, it just seems so insane that is a thing where they're like, nope, we're not playing that. We're not going to see that. You know what I mean? It's all because of these little things that I feel like are absolutely trivial. Now, the thing is there is something that's popping off right now. I just saw it. Queen Christine just said something that I do appreciate her giving us a little bit of a heads up. There's something that we need to take a look at. Apparently, there is an active shooter in San Jose right now as we speak.
Are telling her
and
multiple casualties as a result of the shooting.
We got to take a look.
That the shooter is dead. At this point, we can't confirm how that shooter died, nor do we know who this shooter is or what that person's related to. But we are certainly thinking about the people who lost their lives this morning. There may be others
Several
who are injured.
people shot.
Ricardo saying that there were people being treated. So that suggests to me that that in addition to the people who appear to have died in this incident, that there are also people who got hurt. And so we are thinking about them as well.
Yes, we know several people have been treated. We know that that facility has been evacuated. So just getting more information as we continue this morning, just trying to get a handle on what happened here. We do have somewhat of a timeline.
Oh,
this started around
thank you, Tammy, from the block.
6:30 this morning. So police and deputies have been here at this rail yard for about 2 hours now since the incident happened. But we know, after talking with Brandy, that employees here have been here far earlier. They have to get those trains ready to go around 4 this morning. So those employees have been at this facility for hours now before this incident happened. We don't know what was going on at the building at that time. Brandy did not have that information. Brandy's a representative for VTA when we talked to her earlier this morning, but she did give us a little bit of insight as to just the facility itself. It's really tucked away. And it's not a facility that people have access to. She said that the security here is very tight. And so while we don't know much information about the shooter, this would have to be someone who had access to the building or either broke into this building. Hopefully that's something we can get some clarity on in just a few minutes when we get the update from sheriff's deputies. But this was people who were inside this building doing work, getting ready for the day, had been there preparing for the work that they were getting ready to do when this situation happened. We do know from Santa Clara County Sheriff's deputies that shooter is down. We don't know any information and details about how exactly that happened. That is something we are expecting to learn. We're waiting for them, honestly, any moment now to give us an update. It's set to start at 8:30, so hopefully that can clear up a lot of questions that we have right now. But following right now this active shooter investigation, while that shooter is down, it's still a very active scene. We can see this helicopter from Sky 7 flying over the scene. So hopefully we will be getting more information as we see this very heavy police presence, fire presence, and we see ambulances there as well at this scene. So hopefully we will get those details in just a few minutes, Reggie.
I do want to let you know that the governor just tweeted 1 minute ago. He says, "We are in close contact with law enforcement and monitoring the situation closely." And there you can see his tweet. This was supposed to be the day, and it may still be, but this will certainly really cast a shadow on what was supposed to be a big announcement from the governor today regarding ways in which California is going to try and encourage people who have not been vaccinated to do so. And that was what the governor's office was planning to talk about at a news conference at 2 p.m. today. And we talked about that earlier this morning. He was on GMA. And now it's a shooting that is top of mind for him and his administration and the rest of us as we wait to hear more details about what happened here this morning at this VTA facility.
Yeah. And Reggie, we are getting more information
All right. A little bit
from
more.
our sources telling us that there are no more than 10 victims. Of course, this is preliminary information, and hopefully we will get confirmation once we hear from Santa Clara County and their update that we're expected to get. But we do know that ATF and the FBI are responding to this. So in addition to the local police and sheriff's officers that we see here, there is a response as well coming from the FBI and the ATF. So this is just the beginning of what we know will be a very long and thorough investigation.
I don't know what happened there, but we must have lost the feed there, the live feed. But they just said
into exactly what happened here, Reggie.
Right, and an unbelievable impact that has. So I just, that's the wording from the law enforcement. I just don't want people to think that we are somehow not valuing it, because that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people hurt this morning.
10 so far. 10.
We are hopefully waiting to get more information.
10 people right now, everybody. 10 people have been shot. As we speak, I guess there's going to be a press briefing here fairly shortly to let everybody know what's going on. But 10 people so far have been shot at this shooting. I guess a VTA yard in San Jose. I don't even know what VTA stands for. But still, this is a terrible situation. The shooter is dead. The shooter has been killed. But, you'd think we were going to take a break from this kind of stuff. But it keeps going. Here we go. Oh, hold on. Hold on, David. I'm sorry. He's about to speak.
All right. It looks like he says that we had a couple more minutes. So I'll kind of go through what we've been able to
introduce myself.
There we go.
My name is Deputy Russell Davis, Russell. Last name Davis, Davis.
Thank you, Queen.
I'm the Public Information Officer for the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office. Good morning, everyone. About 6:34 a.m. this morning, Santa Clara County Communications Center received multiple 911 calls, a shots fired call, multiple shots fired calls in the area of 101 West Younger Avenue in the city of San Jose. This building is a VTA control center, a Valley Transportation Authority control center. It is a hub that stores multiple VTA trains and maintenance yard as well. Multiple deputies, including surrounding law enforcement agencies, arrived to the scene for an active shooter investigation. The information I can tell you right now is very preliminary. I can confirm with you right now that we do have multiple victims and we have multiple casualties at this point. I can't confirm the exact number of injuries and fatalities, but I will tell you that there are multiple injuries and multiple fatalities in this case.
Jesus.
This still is an ongoing investigation. We do have multiple agencies here helping us out with law enforcement side, as well as with the county fire side, city fire department, and multiple agencies. I will tell you about the suspect right now. The suspect is confirmed deceased. I will not go into details as what the cause of death is at this point, but the suspect is deceased at this point, so the public safety is safe at this point. This is still an ongoing investigation, like I was saying earlier. We will have another press briefing in probably about 1 hour, and I'll be able to give you an update from there.
Are the victims tied to VTA? Are they employees or families of employees?
That's a good question.
With the victim, as of right now, there are VTA employees that are victims. In regards with the suspect, I don't have that information at this time.
What were they doing at this office? Were they having a meeting?
So I don't know at this point as what transpired with this incident, but it's still ongoing. So probably give me about a couple hours, and then we can give you an update from there if we have that information.
Indoors or outdoors, the shootings?
I don't know if this was indoors and or outdoors at this point.
How many rounds were fired approximately?
Semi-automatic?
I don't know. I do not have the information on that point.
Was
Can you tell us were there at least 5 fatalities?
So there's a lot of speculation on injuries and whatnot, fatalities. I don't have a number for you. Give me about an hour and I'll give you an update with that from there. Everything is still preliminary, just occurred. We have investigators on the scene trying to figure out exactly what happened. So right now we're trying to set up a reunification, get victims out to where they need to go and get medical treatment at this point. That's the most important thing right now.
Where are the victims going?
Get information.
1 second, one at a time, please. I don't know what kind of weapon at this time.
Where can family members get information about their loved ones?
Good question. Family information. Right now, we are staging our reunification area at our sheriff's office headquarters, which is next door, which is at 55 West Younger Avenue in San Jose. If anyone has any type of information regarding this incident, please give us a call. It can be anonymous in that case, or just hard information of the case, but we can get as much information we can get in regards to what transpired in this case that will help us out as well. But we do have investigators on scene gathering as much information as we can at this point to figure out what exactly happened.
You know, this is sad. This is really terrible. I mean, I feel like now we get so, we're getting so used to, we're getting so numb to these shootings that when things like this happen, it's kind of happen. When things like this happen, it's like, oh, okay. It's almost getting to that point, you know, where we're that numb, and it's very, very sad. And obviously, sheriff's office, you know, those men and women, I mean, they obviously have a lot to figure out because this is all brand new. This is all just started popping off. They're not going to have all the answers right off the bat. And of course, there are a lot of people, family members. I was just seeing in the comments. I don't remember who said it, but because the comments are blazing through. Keep the comments going and definitely, most definitely send those likes all the way up if you don't mind. This is breaking right now as we speak. There was a shooter, an active shooter in the Valley. What was it? Valley. What is VTA again? Queen Christine just did it, and then it disappeared. It's like
Valley Transportation.
Yeah, something like that. Valley Transportation something. But anyway, Authority, yes. So Valley Transportation Authority Yard in San Jose. There have been multiple injuries, multiple casualties. The shooter is right now confirmed dead. And we still don't know everything, obviously, as we speak right now. And this is all going down in San Jose, California, right now as we speak. Once again, this is a situation where shootings, like I said, are just becoming so part of the norm. That is, these mass shootings are becoming so much part of the norm that we're all numb to it. We're all just used to it, and it's very, very sad that there's a lot of disgruntled employees, disgruntled people having mental breaks and going out there and shooting and bringing harm and violence to other people. You know what I mean? All I can say is that just my heart goes out to the families and the victims of that shooting right now, because this is terrible. It's absolutely terrible, you know? Man. And Goth Vosh said, love and prayers don't do anything, ... Unfortunately, that is true. That is true. All you can do is hope for the best. But like, as I saw in the comments, I'm sorry, David, real quick. As I saw in the comments, you know, it's Christine, Queen Christine did say something that did catch my attention. Of like, you can't go to the grocery store, you can't go to the park. You know, you have to just literally. Every time you go to it's almost getting to the point where anytime you go to a place where there is a public gathering, that you're basically need to kiss your kids goodbye, because it might be the last time you see them, because this is how often these shootings keep showing up. You know, I mean, yesterday, I'll say this really quick. Yesterday, I covered a story about a shooting that happened just like a block away from George Floyd's Memorial Square. All right. And they were shooting each other over parking. They were shooting each other over parking, guys. 30 bullets were discharged because of a parking spot. We're at this place now. We're at this moment of violence. We're that volatile that instead of talking it out, or, hey, sometimes you need to speak with your fists. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just need to do a tussle. I get it. But pulling out a gun and start blasting, that's another conversation. But I feel like we are so quick to resort to pulling out a firearm and straight up murder and heinous acts of violence rather than just talking. It's getting really out of hand out here, guys. David, you were going to say something, my brother.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that basically. This is just really unfortunate. I said this in chat, but the reason we probably aren't going to hear how many numbers there are, I'm sure they already know, but they're going to want to notify all of the families of the deceased first.
Absolutely.
So that's going to take, yeah, exactly. So they have officers going around. That's probably what the delay is right now, while we wait for the unfortunate families to find out what happened before they release all the information to the public. I mean, we don't know much about what happened here yet, so it will be like another hour. But obviously it was just a mass shooting that was unnecessary.
Another ridiculous, stupid, unfortunate shooting.
Yeah.
Again, welcome to America.
Someone asked if he works there, but we don't know yet. Based on averages, it's most likely he does work there, but they haven't announced for sure yet, so we don't know.
I got my money on him being a disgruntled employee. I think he was an employee for sure. You know what I mean? It's like I said, this kind of information is really, really sad and unfortunate. But and unfortunately, we gotta wrap up the show. But before we go, I do want to do a little bit of a left turn into something that I found kind of funny. People are, like I said, this is a left turn, y'all. But I figured this could maybe bring the show back up a little bit to something lighter. And of course, I'm going to say this too. If there's any more information that breaks, I will make sure that I break it right here on the show. So be on the lookout for that. If there's any information revolving around this shooting that just happened in San Jose. We've said before, but we'll say it again. There's been multiple casualties, multiple victims. The shooter is now dead, or they have confirmed that he is no longer here. But of course, thoughts and prayers go out to all the family members and families that are literally trying to find out if their loved one is out of harm's way, or if they have become a victim. It's terrible. And David is absolutely right. I understand them not putting out all this stuff. You see what I'm saying? Putting out all the information of, oh, this person's been shot. This person, there's a lot of people that need to know before the press, before the public know. And I think we can respect them for that. Okay. But this is a little bit of a left turn. This has to do with Thor. Okay, our boy Thor. All right. Right now, people are going crazy over Chris Hemsworth's photo, because he posted a photo of him absolutely jacked, right? And I guess he's on set for Thor, getting ready for the new movie that's about to come out. But people can't get over how skinny his legs are. I'm about to show this to you guys. Okay? And Siri, yes, Thor with the hammer. Come on now. Come on, Siri. No, I'm just playing. Anyway, we got to see this photo, and you're going to see it for yourself. I'm only showing this part because you see how massive, like he's meaty, right? Look at that photo right here. I'm doing that. I'm cutting off from the legs for a reason, because I want you to see his legs. Okay, I'm trying to be dramatic about it. Okay, but he put this particular photo up, right, with him, and I'm assuming that's his kid. One of his twin sons. And he wrote, holding my little man's hand and asking him the age-old question, what do you want to be when you grow up? He said, Dad, I want to be Superman. Luckily, I have 2 other kids. Okay, so here's his legs. So, in the full scope of everything, people are losing their minds over how jacked he is up here, but how he doesn't have much going on down there. I don't get it. Like, here it is. I get it. You skip leg day because legs suck. Doing legs suck. All right. And people say, I was just about to say that, Siri. That's hilarious. Siri just took the words right out of my mouth. But friends don't let friends skip leg day. Okay? Now, I want to make it abundantly clear. It is very hard to grow your calves. All right? What you are genetically what you are genetically made with is what you got, right? Especially with your calves. Calves are very hard to grow. Okay? You either get calf implants or you are just literally doing calves all day, every day. Okay? Now, there's another photo of him here. And in my personal opinion, he looks proportionate. That's what I think. Legs are very hard to do, y'all. Legs are very, very hard to do. And very hard to grow. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I just agree generally. Yeah, I don't think his legs are that bad off. They do look a little thin, but like not crazy. So, like you said, it does.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like you said, it does have a lot to do with genetics. And I do think just the fact that he's like, his arms are steroided up makes his legs look even smaller.
Right.
'Cause his arms are huge, and you really don't need arms that big in terms of strength. So I think that's where some of the imbalance comes from. But yeah, it's not unusual. Like even myself, I lift a lot, and my calf growth almost always comes from climbing or biking. Just you don't get much mass to your calves from lifting, which is mostly what they do for this stuff. So yeah, I don't think it's weird, but it's funny.
And also, let's also be real. You're not. They're not looking at his legs. They're not shooting his legs. You know what I mean? They're shooting from the waist up. That's what everybody cares about. They all want to see the six pack. They all want to see the bulging biceps and the huge chest and the big shoulders. They don't care about the legs. They don't give two damns about no legs. You know what I'm saying? But some people have the genetics to be able to have their calves just blow up and just have gigantic calves. And then some of us don't have it. You know what I mean? Some of us just don't have that ability. You know what I mean? And he just happens to be that guy. Also, I'm sure, like I said, his focus is waist up. Because he's, holding the Thor hammer. He's got to show off all the, he's got to be veiny and, everything popping. So
he's always shirtless, but he usually's got pants on too.
Facts. So, it's funny. You know what I mean? But it is tough to find legs that are like, some people, like I said, some people are just genetically given some really dope calves. Some people go to surgery and get implants. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it just depends on what rocks your boat, baby. What rocks your mother-loving boat? Okay? Quit throwing shade on him. Wait, go ahead.
If he is on set too, even they're probably just having him like get a pump in his upper body every time he goes on screen. So that's probably also why his body looks bigger that way. Because that's how they do it on films. Like everyone, like not just Marvel, DC heroes, regular actors, usually will have them do a bunch of workouts right before their scene, so they still have that big pump on there. And it's almost always the upper body because, like I said, they're mostly just shirtless. Superheroes are shirtless a lot, or superheroes are shirtless a lot, but they usually have pants on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're getting paid. They're getting paid to look their best all day, every day on camera. You know what I mean? So, I mean, especially when the whole focus is just up here, you know what I mean, waist up, then you focus on those things. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, his arms are gigantic. Right? He's got gigantic arms. And I just say, hey, let him do his thing. Ain't nobody shooting his legs. You know what I'm saying? And it is not like he just doesn't work out his legs. You see that he's taking care of them, but he's maintaining. You feel me? But as soon as Thor is over, he's going to scrunch back down to his normal size, and he's going to be proportionate all over again. So I say just let it be what it is. Let him scoop that bag. Everybody knows that he making that money doing his show, doing that Thor thing. And, you know, that's his real main bread and butter. You know what I mean? So
as long as he's not wearing that fat suit from the, like, which one movie was that? I think it was Thor 3.
Endgame? Yeah, when he was in the fat suit. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but he's back to in shape now. So he's going to go out there and kick some ass, you know what I mean? So we'll see, you know what I mean? You guys are funny. But anyway, guys, I do appreciate all you guys for being on today. The conversation was epic today. The phone calls were amazing today. All right. I will be on tonight. David, I'll say this. Thank you so much for being on, my brother. Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's a fun show today.
Yeah, man. Action-packed like a mug, okay? Lots of things to talk about. Loved the phone calls and all that. I mean, you know, when it's not every day that you have huge conversations and huge topics like this whole thing with Charlamagne the God and everything. But we had to talk about it, you know? And like I said, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of cancel culture, but I think that there are moments that need to be addressed for sure. So appreciate all y'all for being on. Chris CCC, thank you so much for saying that. She said, great show. Nur, thank you so much for being on. She said, I learned a lot today. I think we all learned something today, you know, on this morning show. And I do appreciate all y'all for being on. Unfortunately, we can't go into the criminal probe of Trobe. We can't do the criminal probe of Trump right now. Unfortunately, we got to wrap up the show. But you know, I'm sure there's going to be more information about Trump here popping off very, very soon. But anyway, guys, I appreciate all you. Please be sure to crush that like button down below. If you haven't done it yet, just hit that subscribe button. That would really mean a lot. And also hit that join button. Become a member. We do have a big members only show tonight where I'm going to be doing another big breakdown and having a huge discussion with just the fam tonight. So you have got to hit that join button and be a part of that conversation tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is the family members only show. Exclusive. So you got to tune in. It's going to be dope. Anyway, I appreciate all you guys. Crush that like buttons. Hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys tonight. Members only show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys tonight. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Wishing you love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that. So what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.